Good afternoon, everyone. How are we all doing today? I don't know how many people are actually in here because it's showing that there's only one person, and it's Olivia, but I know that there's more. It's probably just trying to catch up, that's all. Yeah, see, like, Tabitha, it's not even showing you online on mine right now. This is weird. What's going on, guys? Yeah, it's starting to update now. I don't know. Twitch has been really weird the last couple of days. All right. How we doing? What's new? So we're going into Unit 10, Lesson 10. Let me know if you guys are having issues downloading it, because for whatever reason, I can't download it on my iPad right now, so I had to email it to myself. So if you guys need me to send an email, I can do so. Sierra, I did see that you just emailed. Tabitha, why you went to bed at 5:30? Oh, jeez. You're gonna kill your sleep schedule when we actually go back to school. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go do a little review question with you guys. This is a multiple choice question that came off an old Regents exam. And then I'm going to just do the first page of Lesson 10. The game plan is tomorrow we're going to do the second page of this lesson. And I have decided that Friday we're going to have a day off, because we've been doing a lot of math, and I just want everybody to catch up with the assignments and stuff. So today, first page. Tomorrow, second page. Friday, nothing. Okay? Unless you really want to learn math, then I can make something up for you guys. Man, you guys have no structure in your life, so now it's a free-for-all. You just sleep 24/7. All right, so if we take a look at the warm-up, we're going to talk about exponential decay. And if you guys remember exponential decay, it was a small little formula that looked like this. It was y equals a times b to the x. And that just meant it was an exponential function. Now, if it was exponential decay, that just means that the b value, so the decay portion right here, oh my gosh, I'm already getting my iPad freezing up again. When we go to do the decay, that means that the b value is less than 1. So we just have to simplify all these out, because you're going to notice that all of our exponents have a number and a variable, and we just want to get the variable all by itself. So I'm going to rewrite a, b, c, and d so that t value is all alone. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put parentheses around the base and the exponent. I'm just going to leave the t on the outside. And I'm doing that for all of these. And part C, that's a -1, even though we're not seeing it there. Same thing in part D. There's a little -1 right there. So now what I want to do, oh, I don't have my calculator up. Now what I want to do is just type all of those in. So I have 2 to the 0.3. This is telling us that y is going to be equal to 1.23 blah, 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 blah to the t power, because all I'm doing is simplifying it. This question was asking, is it exponential decay? So if you look at part A, and if you look at your b value now, it's 1.23 to the t power. 1.23 is not less than 1, so that means A is not the correct answer. This is actually growth, because our b value was larger than 1. So now I'm just going to do the next one. I have 1.2 to the third power. Well, if I simplify that down, this is really going to be y is equal to 1.728 to the t power. Once again, 1.728 is larger than 1, so it is growth. And then I'm just going to keep repeating this process. So now I'm going to come over to the next one. I have 1/2 to the negative 1. So I got, oops, math. Why do I keep hitting the wrong thing? Alpha y equals fraction 1/2 to the negative 1. If you guys recall, negative 1 means that it's flipping the fraction over. It's kind of like what we did in yesterday's lesson. So this is really going to be y is equal to 2 to the t. Once again, that is growth because it is larger than 1. And then if you guys do the last one, you have 5 to the negative 1. And that's going to come out to be 0.2. Or if you were to write it as a fraction, that is really just 1/5 to the t. So 0.2, 1/5, it doesn't matter how you write it. That is going to be smaller than 1. So that is your decay. So we did these way back in like October. That's how long ago this question was. So if you have any questions on how I just went about that, let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to go through. We're going to solve some more fractions with some crazy denominators. I say crazy denominators, but these aren't going to be too crazy. I'm keeping them pretty easy for you guys. So if you guys look at exercise number 1, then I'm not seeing any comments coming in, so I'm assuming you guys are feeling okay with that. If we jump down to part A, I do see a comment. Let's see here. Does the t act as an x? In this case, t is x. So it doesn't matter what variable the exponent is. It's always going to be considered the x value. So it could be t, it could be x, t, q, r, whatever. Oh, I forgot to turn the sound off. All right. So, exercise number 1, A and B. It's all right, Sierra. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it. You too, Waylon. We'll get through this. So, if you guys have 2 fractions, you guys have actually already solved questions like A and B before. If you have 2 fractions and it's asking you to solve it, and the 2 fractions are equal to each other, you guys were taught in the past to just cross multiply. So for A and B, these are really the same type of questions. You're just going to cross multiply, and then your goal is to try and get x all by itself. So I'm just going to go through the process. I'm not going to really do this one very slow. I'm going to go quick with these two because we have done them in the past. If you distribute the 5 and 4x plus 5, we'll have 20x plus 25. And then if we distribute the 2 and the x minus 1, we'll have 2x minus 2. Because remember, you're distributing the 2. Once we get there, now we're just trying to get x all by itself. So I'm going to subtract the 2x over to both sides. I'm also going to subtract the 25 over to the other side so we can get the x all alone. So the 25's cancel out, the 2x's cancel out, and we're going to be left with 18x is equal to negative 27. And then we just divide both sides by 18 to get that x all by itself. So in this case, x is going to be equal to, if we simplify that down, it should be negative 3 over 2. So again, I said I was going quick through it, but still, if you see something in there that you're confused with, or if you got a question, don't be afraid to ask in the chat. While you guys are typing up any questions, if you have any, I'm just going to continue over to part B and do the same thing. This one, I'm going to kind of write it out a little bit more because you're doing x plus 1 times x minus 6. And then we're also distributing the 2 times 2 minus x. So we have to double distribute. If you double distribute, you'll have x squared plus 6x. I'm sorry, minus 6x. It's a negative 6. Plus x minus 6. And that's all equal to 4 minus 2x. We'll combine like terms, and we're going to have x squared minus 5x minus 6 is equal to 4 minus 2x. This one's a little bit different than part A because there's an x squared, and anytime we have the x squared, we have to make sure we set the equation equal to 0. So I'm just going to move everything over to the left side. Oops. So I got to subtract the 4 with the 6, and I have to add the 2 with the 5. So it looks like I have x squared minus 3x. I don't know if I'm writing or not. Come on. Oh, okay. That's great. Scroll back down here. All right, so minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. And now you guys should see that this can be factored. So if you guys factor this, you will get 2 bubbles. X and X. And it's going to be 5 and 2. The 5 has to be negative, and the 2 has to be positive. So now you guys will get your 2 answers that solve this problem. X will equal 5, and X will equal negative 2. And if you guys are confused on how I just got those 2 answers, all I did was T-chart. I just ran out of room, so I just wrote the answers up top. So what I did is I just T-charted, and then I got my 2 answers. Did you at least get a raise here for having to still work through all this? I know a lot of companies gave out raises. But overall, exercise number 1A and 1B, those are ones that we've already done in the past. You guys have been doing cross multiplication. You've been solving. You guys have been fine with that. Test points, Tabitha, is if there is less than or greater than signs. If there's no less than or greater than signs, then you don't have to worry about it. Oh, that's great, Sierra. No raises for you. That stinks. So I'm just going to finish up on this last one, and then, like I said, we'll do the second page tomorrow. If you guys look at exercise number 2, we can't simply cross multiply because you have 2 fractions on the left side. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve it like we did yesterday and the day before. Since we can't cross multiply, I said, how could we eliminate the denominators? What we're going to do is we're just going to find the LCD just like we did in the last lesson. So I'm just going to look at, in this case, we have 3 fractions. I'm going to look at all of those denominators, and I'm just going to try to find a number that they all can fit into. So since we have 2, 4, and 4, we know 2, 4, and 4 all can fit into the number 4. As far as the variable goes, I taught you guys for the last couple of days that anytime we're looking at the variables, we pick the largest exponent. Well, in this case, the exponents are exactly the same because they both are x's, so we can just use that as our LCD. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that LCD and I'm going to multiply it by every fraction. So I'm just going to do 4x over 1, and I'm going to multiply that by every single fraction. So this is like that extreme shortcut that we've been doing now. So the reason why this shortcut is nice, because if you look at your fractions, when you go to multiply, you can do those cross-canceling. So I'm just going to look at this 4x, and I'm going to look at the 2 underneath it. And you guys should be able to see that 2 can fit into both of these. So I can cross off the 2 on the bottom, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is just going to be 2. So I'm just going to rewrite this as 2x. In the middle fraction, you have a 4x on the bottom and a 4x on the top. So they just cancel right out. And in the last fraction, again, you have a 4x on the bottom and a 4x on the top, so those cancel out. So now all I'm going to do is write what we have left over on all the tops of those fractions. So the first fraction, we're going to have 2x. The second fraction, we still have minus 9. And in the last fraction, we just have 3. Because we just canceled out all the LCDs, we now just have a basic linear function. So now all we have to do is solve for x. Well, I'm just going to move my 9 over to the other side. I'll have 2x is equal to 12. And then we're just dividing both sides by 2. So x is equal to 6. So what we're actually going to be doing on the second page is just a lot more of these type of problems where you have more than one fraction. It's just we'll get a little bit more intense tomorrow because the denominators are going to have binomials in it. They'll have monomials in it. So like exercise 3A and B will be more practice with what we just did here on the front page. And then exercise 4A and B is getting a little bit more intense, but it's still very similar to what you guys have been doing the last couple of days. But I'm going to leave it at that. I didn't want to make today's lesson too extreme. I didn't want to make it that long. I know some of you guys may start to get a little bit overwhelmed within the next couple of days now that all your teachers are starting to do Zoom or give out work and whatnot. So I don't want math to be, the overall, you have to do this right now. There's a lot of other classes you guys have to worry about, and I just want to make sure everybody's good. All right. You guys have any questions for me? I will let you guys know, as of right now, office hours, I will be switching over to Zoom. I've been doing it on Twitch, and nobody was really showing up to Twitch. I've had more people showing up to the Zoom office hour. And I'm also going to do 2 office hours during the day now because with other teachers going to be doing other times during the day, it kind of overlaps. So I know some of you guys are going to want to come in and do or ask me some homework questions. And if it doesn't work from 1 to 2 o'clock for you guys, I figured I'd try to do... Babe, you behind me?
Yeah.
What time is your morning office hour?
10 to 11.
So the other one will be from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning. I know half of you in here are pretty much asleep at that time because that's all you guys do during the day, but I will put those 2 times out there. I'll make sure to send it in the Remind. Again, if you do not have the Remind app with my app code or my Remind code or whatever it's called, please make sure that you contact me so I can send that to you. Okay? Anybody else have questions, or we're all just going to bash outside school life? Because that's what it looks like that is going on. Tabitha, I am not attacking you. I'm just saying that's the preference. Online school is absolutely horrible. I don't know why people choose to do this. Yeah, I know a lot of people struggle with it, Sierra. When I did college, I had to take probably about 3 or 4 classes online because they only offered them online, so I didn't have a choice. It's nice because you get a little bit more freedom of doing it when you want to, but Jade, I think you have said that on every single lesson that I have done in the last 2 weeks. It's right when I'm about to end the lesson, you make sure you have to put in that I'm going to drop out. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Well, I hope you guys have an enjoyable evening. Some of you guys are probably just going back to bed, I guess. Don't be afraid to contact me if you got any questions on your homeworks. My recommendation is probably not to get a jump start on this homework unless you feel very, very comfortable with what you're doing. We didn't really get into the intense problems. Like I said, we'll do that tomorrow. And once again, Friday, there will be no lesson. So you guys don't have to worry about doing anything on Friday. Well, at least for math. I don't know about your other classes. They'll probably make you do stuff. All right. Well, you guys, I will catch you later. Have fun. Adios.